So the state of New York, they're going to fight shoplifting, which is rampant, by making stores implement their own panic button system. That's really going to do it. Hey, there's a guy shoplifting. Nobody's coming. Yeah. All right. Let's watch this video on how New York City's going to fight crime. Here we go.
With retail theft on the rise in New York City and New York State, Governor Hochul is outlining her new plan to reverse the trend.
All right, Fox 5's Kendall Green has more on the $45 million plan that the governor hopes will make store owners and shoppers safer.
Retail therapy for shoppers tends to offer top-tier satisfaction. And while it doesn't take much nowadays for that experience to quickly turn sour.
Someone's taking forever to make up their mind, 3 different things. It's like, come on.
But what's been quelling satisfaction among shoppers and retailers alike? Shoplifters, which Governor Kathy Hochul is going after, introducing a $45 million initiative to drive down retail theft.
The smash and grab efforts, they go in and swipe everything off the shelves and oftentimes they're loading into a stolen vehicle, compounding the crimes here.
It aims to bolster security measures for businesses and establishes task forces within law enforcement that specifically target shoplifters. The legislation also increases penalties for those reselling stolen goods, assaulting retail workers in shoplifting attempts like we've seen in smash and grab videos before.
But now to not know whether someone coming in the door is going to do them harm or knock them over and sweep the shelves and sometimes the shooting, sometimes the knifing, it's got to stop.
Now, there's a reason Governor Hochul is going after shoplifters because, well, it's part of a growing trend. Between 2017 and 2023, larceny cases across the city went up more than 50%. She's hoping to send a stronger message.
You're on notice. We've had enough.
Christopher Herman, John Jay College of Criminal Justice.
When you arrest one person for retail theft, you're also arresting them for all their future thefts in theory.
If approved, the initiative invests more than $25 million to a smash and grab enforcement unit to build cases against those a part of theft rings. $10 million will support prosecutors. $5 million would support local agencies. Another $5 million will go to businesses for a tax credit to cut their losses.
The increased money for small businesses that don't have the increased security or maybe the cameras yet. I think it's a very comprehensive package.
Kendall Green, Fox 5 News.
So meanwhile, state of New York, they're requiring big stores, big chain stores to have a panic button system. Hey, we don't have enough police. We've gone soft on crime. So when a thief comes into your store, we would like you to pay for a panic button system that doesn't really go anywhere because there's just not enough cops to really do what, keep the public safety. We don't really have the ability to do that. So, this is what we're doing. So Walmart doing a little pushback. They are saying, no. I've heard so many of you mention Seattle soy boys. Those are weak, blue-haired men who have lost their traditional masculinity. It's undeniable that such weakened masculinity in urban areas, it's had significant impacts. These feminized men are easier to control and less likely to push back, aligning with a societal shift that labels outspoken men as sexist or misogynist. Meanwhile, mainstream media demonizes traditional masculinity, calling it toxic. Research shows a dramatic decline in men's testosterone levels and physical strength over recent decades, influenced by sedentary lifestyle and poor diets. That's why I recommend Black Forest Testosterone with Tonkat Ali supplement. This plant-based product promotes increased testosterone and muscle mass while reducing stress. I've personally experienced improved recovery times and overall energy levels. Dubbed the feminization killer, this supplement combines 2 potent natural testosterone boosters. It's an effective way to counteract soy boy syndrome. With Black Forest Testosterone, I've seen noticeable improvements in energy, strength, and sleep quality. You too can experience these benefits with an exclusive buy 2, get 1 free offer available on their website. Black Forest Supplements is operated by patriots committed to resisting a system that aims to weaken us. By supporting this sponsor, you can help sustain this channel and reclaim robust health and confidence. Check out the special link below for this promotion. Thank you for your support. Walmart is expressing opposition to a New York State push to require panic buttons in large retail locations, according to Reuters. the Retail Worker Safety Act. Why don't you just throw the criminals in jail? Just start doing that. I don't have enough jail space for them. Okay, well, whose choice was that? Who went with that? Yeah, who went with that? It's this soft on crime approach that is not working, and that is what has emboldened these criminals to do what they're doing. So now we're just kind of coming back full circle. Now we've put them on alert. You didn't need to put them on alert. They know that it's game on. These criminals know they can get away with this. And even if they don't get away with it, they know the repercussions are going to be so small that it's totally worth it to do this. So there's all these things going on in the United States right now. This tough on crime approach. No. Start throwing their asses in jail. Start incarcerating them. Start making it mandatory for people to get the mental health care. Start making it mandatory for people to be put in treatment. But this whole smash and grab thing, yeah, those are choices that people are making because they know they can get away with it. They just know. Retail Worker Safety Act how about the Incarcerate the Criminals Stealing from Stores Act? What about that? What if we just have a nationwide one of those? It would require multiple large retailers in the state, including Walmart, to develop and implement programs to prevent workplace violence. What? How is this even a thing? What is wrong with you, New York State? This is stupid. You can't put it on the stores. It's your job as leadership within the city, within the state, with whatever jurisdiction it is to make sure the bad guys don't get to the good people. That's the job. It's called public safety. It's why we have police officers. Not for some dumbass to be hitting a button, right? Among these would be violence prevention training, a written workplace violence policy, and the installation of panic buttons, which could be used to discreetly dial 911 in emergencies. And then how long is it going to take for the cops to show up? Like, if you did that here in the state of Washington, all right, it's going to be like 4 hours. They still going to be there? Nope. All right. You still want them to come? Yeah, I guess we'll fill out a report. That's literally what Seattle's got going on because we did this thing called Defund the Police, which was just straight up mentally unstable thinking. Yeah. Hey, this should work out. I was watching a documentary on New York City yesterday. It was about New York City in the 1970s. It was fascinating. It was just wild. At some point they started cutting all the police jobs because they didn't have enough money. And then the garbage workers, they weren't paying them. The city was just literally bankrupt. And one of the big things they did is they cut down the number of police officers and criminal activity just exploded. Shocking, right? Shocking. But here in Seattle, Portland, bunch of other, San Francisco, bunch of other places, defund the police. This will be the greatest concept ever. Never mind, we've already tried that. It just didn't work out all that well, right? The measure passed the New York State Senate last week and is now on the desk of Governor Kathy Hochul, who has 10 days to sign or veto it. Some have criticized the legislation over the high cost of installing such buttons. And Walmart Executive Vice President of Corporate Affairs, Dan Bartlett, he reportedly feels the buttons would also lead to false alarms. The button idea, if you had the ability to on-call, boop, press a button and have somebody run over and provide some, effective safety, I'd be all for that. That's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. 8 out of 10 times, somebody thinks something's going on. There's actually not, Bartlett told Reuters. Bartlett reportedly also noted Walmart employs a chief safety officer who is responsible for monitoring the safety of store employees. He's not there to stop the shoplifters. No, sirree. Got to just let them go. But just make sure that nobody gets killed. Because having a store employee or having a store patron, a customer, somebody who's actually spending money in the store, it's not good when those people get murdered. It doesn't work out well. So try and keep them safe. So that's why we have a chief safety officer. Retail chain did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the national desk. As one of the nation's largest retail chains, Walmart locations across the U.S. have taken steps to combat surging crime recently. location in California announced in January it was locking up its offerings of socks and underwear to deter theft. Man, that is old. That's old school. We've been dealing with that for years here in Seattle. We've been locking stuff up here forever. It's just what we do. It's like, the whacked out nut job mental case drug addicts to come in here and steal. I mean, and we know that it goes on because these people literally tell us in interviews, this is what consists of my day. I get out of my homeless encampment underneath the bridge. I go to my local Target. I steal enough stuff. I go find somebody to pawn it off on. They buy it. I go buy my day's drugs. Rinse and repeat. That's what we're doing. So until you go through the steps to make all that other stuff illegal, and until you're willing to start incarcerating people, go against the grain of this whole justice reform, which just means, it's an acronym for just letting people out of jail willy-nilly, that have committed shenanigans that they've been convicted of. They're convicted felons that are going to commit more shenanigans. A lot of them, not all of them, but enough of them where this has become such a huge problem that the shoplifters know that they're going to get away with this. Crime does pay. It is paying. So these are the things that New York State is trying to push back on. Got to incarcerate these people. You have to make it so uncomfortable for these criminals to do their thing that they think twice about committing a crime. What about that? How about, going down that road? Oh, no, we need some justice reform in here. This isn't going to work. Hochul in 2023 took heat from state retailers after vetoing a bill to establish a retail crime task force. I'm okay with the retail crime task force. I'm okay with any law enforcement that gets to actually go out and do their jobs. But in most of these big blue cities, what's happened is that they've just completely neutered policing and what they can do. It's absurd. It's crazy. And we wonder why we have unsafe communities, right? And just the bill, which received bipartisan support, would have created a panel of experts to outline ways to respond to retail theft in New York State. So, bottom line is what you've got going on is you have allowed this criminal activity to happen within your communities. You've allowed it to happen within your state. You've allowed it to happen. So you're going to have to walk some of these policies back. You're going to have to go old school. You're going to have to actually arrest and incarcerate people. And until you're really willing to do that, until you're willing to until you're willing to vote into office district attorneys, like down in Portland, down in Multnomah County, they just got rid of Mike Schmidt. He was one and done term, and he was a softy on criminal activity, wasn't he? Prosecuting a fraction of the crimes coming to him that his predecessors had. Yeah, he lost. And now one of his underlings is going to be taking a shot at running, district attorney and incarcerating people. This whole notion of soft on crime, justice reform, it's literally what has created an unsafe environment within so many of our communities. You let people rob. You let people shoplift. You let people shoot each other. Just, it's okay. We believe in you as a human being. Therefore, we're going to give you another shot. No bail for you. Just out on personal recognizance. We believe that you'll show up for your court date. You've got so much of that stuff going on. And until you start to override some of that and give the police back their ability to actually do their job, we've tied the hands of policing so hard. And then you wonder why you've got, these situations where criminals are just like, they're just licking their chops because they know it's go time. Bash a window out, go steal from a store. Hey, nobody's going to stop me. And if they do, and if I get arrested, that district attorney, he's not going to do jack because literally his job in his mind is to just let people go. Just let people go. Let people go. Double murder? Oh, yeah. Don't do that again, Junior. Well, here you go. No bail for you. Now, it's not the brutal crimes because the brutal crimes, they're too brutal to overlook, right? Somebody gets murdered. Yeah, they seem to actually round those guys up at some point in time, right? Unless you're in a community like Chicago where you've got a shooting every, 2 minutes? What is that? What's the shooting? I think I looked last week. Let's take a quick peek. Hey, jackass. Yeah. So every 3 minutes and 21 seconds in Chicago, a person is shot. Every 16 minutes and 30 seconds, a person is murdered. You've basically given these gangs, these criminals, the green light because they know in these environments that law enforcement is so overwhelmed that they're not going to get to it. What else we got here? Yeah, shot and killed. This is the week in progress. This is 6/9 through 6/15. I'm reading this to you on the 12th. Shot and killed, 7. Shot and wounded, 34. Total shot, 41. That is in half a week. Half a week, people. This is Chicago, right? And so we're worried about shoplifting. You've given the absolute green light to criminal activity and gang activity and just let them go. And then you wonder why shoplifting is a thing. Hey, we're going to put you on notice. Like Hochul said, we're going to put you on notice. All right. What's that going to do? What's that going to do? Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, okay. Well, we're on notice. All right, guys, which store do you want to hit? Which store do we hit today? Because we hit Macy's last week, and then we hit that little jewelry shop. And, Target, they just don't have the selection we need right now. Plus, they got that whole gay pride thing. Yeah, you got to search around for that stuff to steal that stuff. Right? I mean, you've created these situations where it's just nutty. It's wacky and nutty. And we're not really doing anything about it except talking about it. And hey, let's give them notice. Let's give them notice. You guys are on notice for your criminal actions. That's going to do a lot. That's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next segment. Love to have you subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.